good evening. Come into the Jaye Spot, replacing your G Spot every Thursday from 6 to 7, giving you real relationship talk, real relationship drama with the best night of your life. Your host Jay and Simply E, hold on, get ready to enter the Jaye Spot on intellectualradio.com.
Good evening, and welcome to the best night of your life. You have entered the Jaye Spot. I'm Jay, and baby girl right here, this bubbling beauty, the one that can shake them. This is my co-host and partner in crime, E. How you doing tonight, E?
I'm doing well.
Good. You looking good. Look at her. I mean, did anybody get dumped for their birthday?
No, I've been good.
Oh, you all, she has been redeemed. She has been. I think that there's hope for you after all. See, since Wanda was here, Wanda kind of helped you get to the root to the problem.
Girl.
So I think that was kind of therapeutic. What you think?
I don't know. The night is young now.
Listen. Let me not put any bad luck on him. I'm sorry, sir. I really don't want to put any bad vibes or anything out there. But thank you all for tuning in and joining us for another rendition. I like that word.
That's a big word.
Right, I know. I looked it up today of the Jaye Spot. So I just want to do a quick recap from last week. Now, that was very interesting last week because I learned that you can love two people at the same time.
Yes.
At least that's what I was told. I thought about it all week long, and that thing had me puzzled. I just could not figure out for the life of me why I couldn't understand how can you love two people at the same time. So I thought about it. It's a lie. It's a lie. It is a lie. You can't love. Somebody is going to end up with the short end of the stick.
I won't listen. If you maintain me, I won't end with the short end of the stick. I'll be happy. I'm baby. Put me in my own home though.
But see, then that means you have to share. I don't like sharing.
You share this air that you breathe, don't you?
No, everybody has their own little space. Don't come over in my space. This is my little space, and all of it is mine. And I don't have to worry about sharing.
Okay, so Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, you can have him. And then Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, I have him. And Sunday, he can have his own space. You have your own space, and I have my own space.
You all, this is a profanity-free show, so I will just swallow and take a deep breath on what she just said, because you know that what type of mess is that?
Baby, listen, and I cook.
I don't know. No, we are going to have it's going to be some problems tonight, but I just wanted to definitely recap on that tonight. Now, I hope to walk away with a really good understanding on tonight. I need this, you all. Single versus being lonely. Is it the same thing? I need to know. So I want you all to give us your feedback tonight on Facebook, the Jaye Spot, Jaye Spot. Give us your feedback and let us know what you all think. Is single the same thing as being lonely, or somebody lying to me? Because you all, believe it or not, somebody did tell me that, oh, since you're single, that means you're lonely. I'm not lonely, but let's get to the bottom of this. And then we're going to also talk about settling.
As long as I have my toys, I'm never lonely.
Oh, see, you all, I started off being nice, and now she's talking about the toys. Oh, but I'm going to tell you, wait a minute. I hate to let this secret out, but I have to. Watch it when you all go over people's houses and sit on their couches with these throw pillows. Oh, my God. You never know what filthy. Oh, it's some. There are some things that are in those pillows, so please be careful hugging up on somebody's pillow on the couch, because it houses little toys that people like to play with.
She wasn't at my house.
I wasn't at her house. Somebody told me that, and I was just totally. I was thrown. A nice decorative pillow. I will never sit on anybody else's couch but mine. from this day forward, because I could not believe that. But again, please give us your feedback. I want you all to chime in on the topic tonight, single versus lonely. So we're going to take a short musical break, and when we come back, we are going to get this party started because I'm ready for everybody to enter the Jaye Spot.
She said, I'm a cold, cold girl up in these here streets. I'm talking about Chicago. I've been a friend for about 26 years now. We've had our share of ups and downs, as friends usually do. But I'm stuck to this one like glue. My high school moon, my gym shoe. Ooh, rain, sleet, hail, blizzards of snow. She got my back, I know this for sure, for sure, for sure, for sure, for sure. So I whispered to her, blow with me, whisper to the wind, to the wind, to the wind, to the wind. She said, I'm a cold, cold girl up in these streets. I'm talking about Chicago. Hey, my pot is a foolery, but there's no fool left in me. Since
Thank you. You're back with us on the Jaye Spot, and look, you all, we have some handsome scrumptiousness that has joined us tonight. This is Steve from Candid Talk Radio. How you doing tonight, Steve?
I'm doing good. I'm
so
doing
glad
good.
that he's here with us. Look at him; he's looking all spivvy and everything. I said, all right now, listen. I said, don't get me started up in here.
That's because I just got off work.
Okay, so what you look like before you go to work? I'm being bad, you all, but I'm ready to get this thing just kicked off.
Let's do it. I'm glad to be here.
Man,
That's right.
Single. What is single?
Steve?
Oh, you want to ask me?
Yeah. What's your definition of single?
You want to just throw it out there? Let's go out there.
That's how
I
we
just
do.
want to
Being
throw
single, let's just go right
I
in.
just want to go right
Yeah,
in.
go in.
Into the Jaye Spot. That's
Yeah,
what we
that's
at.
right. Single is being a hoe.
What?
There goes being a hoe. Oh, wow. That's new.
Well, how is single being a hoe?
Single.
You may want to take that top button open. You may want to open that.
No, I definitely jumped ahead. But basically, in my opinion, single is just dating.
Okay.
Single is when you're not exclusive.
Mm-hmm.
Is when you have the freedom to do exactly whatever you want.
Okay.
You can date whoever you want, meet whoever you want. You don't have to answer to anyone. In my single days, you know, I pretty much did whatever I wanted.
That look said I done played the field.
Oh yes, definitely.
Oh, absolutely. Listen.
Listen, you only live once.
That's true.
So we could sit here and play and act like, oh, I'm supposed to do this and all these other stigmatisms and all the other things that we are supposedly by society required to do. But let's just be honest. When you single, you're really being selfish. and you want to go
I
do your
like
thing.
that. I like that definition. What do you think about being single, E?
I'm liking his definition.
I do too. I'm changing my mindset right now as you were speaking.
So you want to be a hoe?
Well, now.
Now I'm not calling.
let's
I'm not calling. Let me explain something to you. I think that being a hoe and being a prostitute are two completely different
most
things.
definitely.
Real? Okay, wait a minute. Explain this to me.
Yeah. Okay. For one, let me first say that I don't think the cliche hoe is being a bad thing.
Mm-hmm.
I just think it's just being single.
Mm-hmm.
When you're dating and you meet someone, even whether if it's the night of or a few days before you guys sleep together, you have every right to do that. You're single. So you can do whatever you want. You don't have anything holding you back. You don't have anything to answer for. So in society's world, is that being a hoe for a man or a woman? Some people may say, yeah. In my opinion,
So being single, does that mean? So is that like a pass to just sleep around? Is that what being single means? That you have the pass to just sleep around?
I mean, for the most part, yes. I mean, yeah, you can sleep around. You can sleep around. You can date whoever you want. You can come in at any time.
Right.
I can get with that.
You don't have to. You can literally be completely selfish. You can kick someone out your house. You could. You could not invite them in. You could do all of those things. Things that you can't do that you would normally do in a relationship, and you don't have to consider anyone else.
Do you agree with that, E?
I like this definition. I think I would change the wording to promiscuous, opposed to hoe, because people get offended by the term hoe.
No, let's just go ahead and just
call a spade a spade.
Yeah, I mean,
okay.
look, if we're gonna keep it real, let's keep it real. I mean, we can use all other type of adjectives to mask what it really is. But
I don't think necessarily you're being hoish or whatever, because you can be single and still be celibate and stuff.
Absolutely.
And there's a lot of people who actually are single and celibate.
Yeah, they're very celibate with their toys.
I mean,
no, not necessarily.
Some actually have restraint on not even masturbation.
Right. I've yet to meet these people.
I even met men like that.
I don't believe them.
I've met men like that.
That's not true. That's not true. Well, here's what I found out. Online, it says single means unmarried or not involved in a stable sexual relationship. Now, I don't know if I agree with that, because I'm single, but what does that have to do with being in a sexual relationship? Because I'm single. I'm just single.
You're in a relationship with your toys.
Right. I don't even have any toys. I need somebody to show me how to use them. But I don't, so I totally disagree with that. I think that being single is just being unattached. You don't have to be out here sleeping with everybody and I do agree with your definition to some extent. I don't need anybody's permission. I can come and go as I please. I can do what I want to do. I'm taking care of this party for solo. I fly solo. But the rest of it, as far as you can have sex with anybody and this and that. I mean, but then what good is that going to do on the female side when you do find somebody? Now, you done ran 50,000 miles on that V thing, then you ain't gonna be no good. I
mean, to be honest with you, in today's age, by the time you actually meet that person and find that one, both of you guys got some miles on you.
Right, but a man's miles versus a woman's miles is totally different. That's not true. Okay, you're going to tell me something different today then?
Yeah, I'm definitely going to tell you something different.
What's the difference?
So it's okay to have a woman who has a lot of miles and there wouldn't be any type of stigmatism towards her or anything.
I didn't say that.
That's what the difference is.
No, wait, hold on. Let me say this. To me, I don't care.
Okay.
Your past is your past. Mm-hmm. I think that answer to that question is subjective.
Yeah.
I think it depends necessarily on the individual. Me personally, I don't care. Your past is your past. My past is my past. Mm-hmm. Let's deal with right now.
But when your past affects your present and your future, I mean, like for a woman, if it's 12,000 to 50,000 miles on it, Yeah, that's gonna affect your future.
But guess what? Now I've taken on that role and accepted that that's my future too.
But then now, so in hindsight, do you think that that'll cause you to go out and try to find somebody that has a little less miles on?
No.
But that's if you ask that question. I mean, I don't even ask that
But
question.
if there's a physical difference for women, if you can tell them,
y'all listen, if your stuff is loose, you better go get a V-steam.
That's what I'm saying.
And tighten it up,
That's all I'm
and that
saying.
way you
Everybody
don't
don't-
have a V-steam.
Everybody don't know
a
that, though.
V-steam, you go to this little shop.
everybody don't
and
know
you
that.
sit on this chair. Underneath of the chair is
It's
a pot
not
of
really a
water,
chair.
and it has a hole in the center of the chair. Yes, I've been there, boo, and yes, I've gotten a V because it's not only to tighten up, but it's also to cleanse your womb, your vajayjay. So. You go there, they put certain herbs and stuff in it that's going to tighten up your womb. And it does. I've had a friend and myself, we went last year for our birthdays. I was celibate and stuff, so I had nobody to, have any fun with. But she did. And she said that, when she got with her guy, he came in like 5 minutes or so because it was so tight. He felt like she was a virgin all over again. So, yes, it does work. V-Steam, go to, King Spot. They do it up there. But anyway.
But what I will not do is please don't let's not try that. Let's not risk it because you may have run into a new technician that works there and they didn't exactly perform the procedure the correct way.
No, they're all these are all older women that do it, and you're sitting there.
Well, they may go and the one that know what they doing. I mean, she off that day.
And the thing about it though is that. So what? If that's what you want to do, that's what you want to do. I mean, it's not a bad thing, or But going back to the question about. Okay, I can't. The owner right here, he acting a fool. I ain't even saying that.
The stuff that this man puts on the
behind the scenes, like no.
The answer
Baby,
is
wait,
no.
what was I
They get squirrels lost up in there, so
And it
no.
make it seem like it's like we got problems. I know I do, but this right here was just a lot.
I mean, but going back to what we was saying basically is, I mean, you're going to meet some people that may care, and then you're going to meet some people that don't care.
Right.
Me personally, if I meet a woman, I don't care.
Okay.
I'd rather not know.
Yeah.
Long as you ain't do nothing with
your friends, your boys,
my best friends or my family members.
Okay.
Then at that point, that's a little difficult for me. But when it just comes to
just a random pass, it doesn't matter.
No, I mean because it's the past. We can't dictate our future when we still condemning people about their past. There's nothing that we can do about their past. You know what I'm saying? So if we meet and we dating, let's deal with the right now.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I want you all to know that these two, they're bigger than I am because I, for one, it's going to matter.
Well, here goes the thing
it
about
matters.
it. Well, here goes the issue. Whoever you ask is going to lie. They're going to lie.
It's not that you're going to ask. It's not that I would ask, but it's like if we going out a few times and it's like everywhere we go,
the freak.
you're with some. I'm like, okay, wait a minute.
But I don't think people are like that nowadays. You have some that are petty. I'm Queen Petty, but you have some that are petty that will do that. But I don't think if you're going out with your guy and somebody that he tapped back in the day or whatever, or recently a week prior to meeting you, will be like, oh, blah blah blah. Most people are like, if they see somebody they had a relationship with, and they see them with another person, most people will just kind of back off, speak whatever, and keep it moving. And you'll never know whether or not they hit it or not. It could have been just.
But see, if during the process of them having their stint of doing the horizontal mambo and it was real good, you're not gonna just walk past and not acknowledge that good. You're not gonna just walk past it. You just gonna clench up and you're gonna, it's just gonna be some side effects from that. So what I'm saying is, we ain't just gonna walk past and act like that didn't happen. It may not be anything rude. It could be just a subtle exchange, which it typically is. But it's like, how many subtle exchanges are you gonna be okay with? We as women know, okay, yeah, he done been with her because we see the look that
you know that your man got some good stuff. I mean, and you should be, hey, he got some good stuff. Now, good stuff will sometimes get you crazy. But, hey, if you got some good stuff and he got some good stuff, then, hey, it's okay. The women are going crazy because...
And a lot of times, the only way you get the good stuff is by experience. So, hey, it is what it is.
Some people are gifted naturally. Boy, I tell you, my 18th birthday present called me up. Boy,
Oh, God. Oh, do not get this man in trouble. She gonna get him in trouble. She gonna get him.
Boy, I tell you.
But going back to the original question, like, what is single? And a lot of people, they have this thing of the rules of being single.
Mm-hmm.
To me, there aren't any rules.
Because you're free to do whatever.
You're free to do whatever you want.
Yeah.
So it's completely up to you. It's your rules.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now, when you're in a relationship, it's a completely different story because then at that point, it's what are our rules?
Mm-hmm. Right.
So that we don't disrespect each other.
Okay, so that would bring me to then being lonely. What is being lonely? Is there a difference between being single and being lonely?
See, lonely, you want to be with someone. Single is a choice. Lonely, you desire to be with someone, but you just literally, you can't find that one that you clicking with or whatever. But when you're single, it's a choice to be single,
Do you agree with that, Steve?
To an extent. Lonely, in my opinion, is no one should ever be lonely.
Mm-hmm.
There's no way in the world that anyone on God's green earth should be lonely.
You'll be surprised.
Now, here goes the thing. If a person, I said should be, I ain't said there aren't.
Yeah.
It's a difference. Now, the people that are lonely, I think that I believe at that point, especially women can't be lonely, in my opinion. But
they are a lot.
But those are the most that are lonely. But
right.
The reason why they're lonely is not because they can't get a man. It's only because of insecurities about their own self that they don't necessarily put themselves out there to be able to meet or see any other people. Mm-hmm. So majority of the times, the people that you see are lonely or whatever the case may be. They don't go out. They stay to themselves. They cooped up and they just sit at home and watch Love and Hip Hop or whatever the case may be.
Oh, and that's not gonna work.
But
that's not gonna work.
But the thing about it though, a woman doesn't have to ever be lonely. I'll give you a perfect example. If one of you ladies tonight was like, you know what, I ain't got no man. I want something tonight and I ain't got nobody on deck. I'm gonna go to the club.
No, I can't do that.
And whoever I want. No, I'm just saying. But I'm saying it, and I'm just gonna, whatever guy I like, I'm just gonna walk up to him, tell him, hey,
let's go.
Let's do this.
And it's just as simple as that. It truly is.
Which I believe in that case, then there's no excuse for you to be lonely.
But that doesn't fill the void of loneliness.
Right, absolutely.
That's just a one night stand, because now after you've approached him with let's go, and after he's gotten what it is that you offered now, he has a choice to leave you or decide, you know what, maybe I want to stick around. Now, if he chooses to stick around, hey, you got a plus up. But 9 times out of 10, he's going to subject you as a one night stand or just something to get.
Right. If that's what you want, I'm just saying. Right. I'm just taking one night stand as a hypothetical. Let's take it even further. Mm-hmm. A woman can go out at any day and night and meet some man. And eventually get dated. I don't care her nationality, her ethnic background, her size, whatever the case may be. That woman is going to find someone that is going to be able to that is going to be able to do it. Now, a man on the other hand, we got to do some work.
Right, but I don't think that just because you're having sex, it's totally different than the emotional part that you need. I mean, because you can still have all the sex that you want and still be lonely during and afterwards, which will lead me to my next question.
Wait, hold on. We got a caller, Wanda. She wants to give her example or definition of lonely. Go ahead, Wanda.
Go ahead, Wanda. Thank you.
Wanda?
You're on live, Wanda.
I agree with you. Lonely is more of a state of mind. You can be in a relationship and still be lonely.
Right. And that's what I was going to say. Yeah, I agree. I totally agree. So do you think that the more people that you have around that's available for sex, do you think that will help curb the desire, curb that lonely feeling?
The desire, curb that lonely feeling? No, because I think somebody has to curb the lonely feeling themselves. I think a lot of times people,
turn your radio down. Turn your computer down.
And lonely. Turn my radio down.
Turn your computer, turn it down, because we hear feedback.
Okay. I think you can, like he mentioned, going to the club and meeting somebody. You sure can. Any day of the week, you could go pick up somebody, but that won't cure your loneliness.
No, it
That'll
won't.
just, it's like a temporary fix, like putting a Band-Aid on a wound. On a big gaping gunshot, you put a Band-Aid on it.
Right, it doesn't work. It's still gonna seep, and whatever's coming out or whatever
Right.
you're missing, it's still going to be there. And I think a lot of single people do equate being single with being lonely, and I definitely think that those are two different things. Again, like you
I
said,
agree.
lonely is definitely a state of mind. Some people, some people told me that when you were lonely that you're crazy, and you're depressed. But I don't think it's to that extent. But I do think that if you're lonely, it's maybe some other things that you are dealing with, and being in a relationship is not going to help that. You
Thank
have
you
to
so
get you have to be okay with being single. You have to be happy with being
With
alone,
you.
because with yourself, because if you're not, getting with somebody is not going to make you happy. It's not going to cure that void.
Thank you so much, Wanda, for calling in.
Thank you, Wanda.
Thank you. Bye.
Yeah, so being
Thank
with
you,
someone
Wanda.
is not going
See,
to
Wanda used to be lonely, but she got a dog. So then, now she don't feel as lonely. No, I'm just playing. But I do agree with you. Like I said before, it is most of the times the people that feel lonely is because of insecurities. Like the young lady said before, it is a state of mind. Being, like I said, to me, it's no excuse for anyone to be lonely. It's enough people out here. There's enough single people out here for you to be able to mingle and meet.
Well, I'm glad that you said that, because actually the stats are actually in men's favor to
Yes,
be
it
single.
definitely is.
Now, because according to a stat online, it says that there are 86 single men to every 100 single women in America. That's a doggone
Wait, could you
shame.
say it one more time? I didn't
There
hear it.
are 86 single men to every 100 single women in America.
Oh, them odds ain't that big.
Yes, it is, but that means that you guys have more options. You can have 2.5.
What's wrong with that?
See the sharing. See?
No, that's not in my vocabulary. I don't know what that is. I don't share. I don't.
I mean, I'm gonna tell you like this. I'm just gonna be real with you. You single, right?
Yes.
Okay.
And I want
when
all
you date,
or
and
nothing.
and that's cool. And when you date, you share
Yeah, and that's what I don't like.
until y'all lock it up and make it
Now,
exclusive.
how do you lock it up? Yes, and so I asked the question: do you have to have sex in order to lock that relationship up?
No.
In order for it to be, from a man's point of view, for that to be considered a real relationship.
From a man's point of view, I'm going to say it's going to be subjective. For me, yes.
Okay.
For me, there's no way that we're going to. I'll tell you right now. This is just me. We're not going to be in some type of. We're not going to be exclusive if we aren't already sexually active.
Why not?
I just don't want it.
But what would be the problem, just generally speaking? Why would that not be an option?
Why would it not? I mean, I'm not saying it couldn't be an option, but I mean, if you're going by like Steve Harvey book and we wait 90 days.
No, that is the biggest setup.
And then at that point, I'm going to tell you, hey, go drink a cold glass of bleach with a splash of antifreeze because I'm not getting ready to deal with it.
It's not that. Just if they just don't feel like, okay, I don't want to have sex. It may be indefinite.
No. And listen, and I respect that. You just won't be with me.
Right. But
And
what would be?
we'll be very good friends.
Well, we had someone who said that people need to master being alone before venturing into a relationship. It gives time to get to know yourself, what you really want, and time to heal. And he says sex is just sex.
Okay. Well, thank you so much for that. I do agree with that. You have to definitely be comfortable with being, single.
Mm-hmm.
But I want to go back to this. I still cannot wrap my head around it. What do you think? I mean, can you be in a committed relationship and not have sex? I mean, and it be considered a real relationship?
Wait. Now we saying be in a committed relationship and not have sex?
Right. It's like, can that relationship form before any sex?
Yes, if you're a Mormon. Yes, it is possible.
No, not if you're a Mormon. Now, I'm Muslim and Lord Jesus. And I've seen many couples that I've known, personally known, that have not had sex before marriage. I've known virgins, men and female, that have waited, 30-something years old, to wait till they get to the altar, and then finally that wedding night is their first time period. So I believe you can. And I know people who are Christian who will wait until they're married,
And you know what? And I'm glad you said that, because I know 4 couples that are Christian that did that, and it didn't work after that.
No, well, these.
But then the few that I know that were getting it cracking before they got married, they've been married a long time.
Right, but that see, now that's I don't think that has anything to do with it, because there's so many people that get it cracking today and they not gonna be together tomorrow.
But just to put everything back in retrospect, in my opinion, do I think that a woman should necessarily lower her standards to sleep with a man to clinch him or to make him become exclusive to her? No, that's not going to make a man do that.
Right, because
a man is not going to want to be in a relationship unless he wants to.
Absolutely.
When a man is looking for a relationship, that's when he's going to find a relationship.
Absolutely.
If he's not looking for a relationship, but I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm gonna tell you another secret. I probably shouldn't tell this,
please
I'm gonna be
tell us.
honest with you. A lot of times, if a man telling you he's not looking for a relationship, it's not necessarily that he's not looking for a relationship. It's just not with you.
Right, absolutely.
And it has
totally agree.
And it has nothing to do with you.
Right.
It's just what he might not be looking for.
Right.
I'll give you an example. I remember I dated this one girl before, and she was amazing. She was everything I wanted in a woman, except for one thing. She wasn't religious. Or she didn't come from the faith that I was. And that was a big thing for me.
Right.
And therefore it couldn't work. Now that had nothing to do with her personally. It was just something that I needed if we were going to have a future together.
Right.
So a lot of times, some people like to take it along that it's just them. Not all the time. Sometimes you might just be crazy as hell and it might be you. But in some instances, you might
Did she
not
just
be.
point to me? Oh, you see, I try to do right. I am not. Well, yes, I am. Okay. Anyways, but we're not talking about me. We're talking about the world.
Yeah. So a lot of people think that sex complicates things and all.
I do. It does complicate.
No,
things.
I don't.
I do.
I don't think so. I think that we make it complicated.
No, the sex. I mean, it's. Let me clarify this. Good sex will complicate things. If it's some crappy sex,
good. Yeah. See, but here,
sex will make you crazy.
Yeah. Good. Yes. Good.
And it complicates the situation.
It does.
See, but in my opinion, no, it doesn't. I really do think that. If a person is going crazy because they got good sex and they acting crazy, it's not because good sex, it's because that person is just crazy.
Right, but that good sex done pushed them right on over the edge because
what the good sex did was reveal the true person. See, because what happens is that a lot of women try to put on this facade as I'm this, I'm this,
women?
I'm this. I'm just keeping it real. I've never dated a man, so yes, I'm talking about women. So yes, women. So therefore, if you're sitting there and you putting on this facade at first, for a lot of times, a woman doesn't really start liking you until after you guys have been intimate.
That's not necessarily true.
Not all the time. Not all the time. I'm not saying all the time.
Right.
But like you just said, good sex will make you crazy. But good sex, once you start being intimate with a person, you guys start to share something that a lot of women feel is more personal than a conversation.
Right.
So therefore, what happens is that because we're being intimate, and now your emotions are getting involved, I'm starting to see your true self. Most women before sex, they don't reveal their true emotions because we're still getting to know each other, and we're still putting on this.
Here's the thing, and the reason why I disagree with that is because her true self could have been revealed. She could be revealing her true self, but you guys can't see past her true self because she has the big butt, she got the big breasts. So we tend to look aside all that craziness. I mean, she could be telling you about what she did to her ex and laughing it all, but you can't see past that because they're just out. The rack is out to here, and all these physical distractions you all tend to fall for. So you missed it. She was revealing it, but you guys missed it. And then don't let her get in the sack and you guys doing a horizontal mambo and she just do the freakiest stuff.
No,
Because now
you know what?
it's really over
I
that.
have had an ex like that. He dated a female, and sex was awesome, and he got hooked on the sex but when he went to her medicine cabinet and
Yes.
found out that she was on so many different medications for antidepressant, for bipolarism and stuff, he was so hooked on the sex though, so he couldn't let her go. And every now and again, he'll still go back to her because the sex was so wonderful. He didn't really get a chance to try to know her. He knew that she was, not crazy, but had a
when you have those many prescriptions, it's some
Let me explain something to you. Something's wrong with him. That's one thing. Let's get that straight. So let's not try to put it on sex. Let's put it that you got two weird, crazy people. Because I'm sorry, but I really do believe that a sane man, that once a woman starts to act crazy, and there's different levels to crazy.
Yeah, there are. There are.
And every man has a different level that he can tolerate.
Take. Absolutely, absolutely.
Like, I'll give you an example. Some men could take a woman acting jealous, calling their phone if they didn't answer, texting their phone. Mm-hmm. Some women can take that. Some men can take that from a woman. Some men can't take that when they walk in the house, she might be sitting there with a knife or gun. But some men can. Some men can. Some men can. Listen, I'm being honest.
That's the aphrodisiac.
Let me tell you something. My cousin. I have a cousin. Well, she's not my real cousin, but I have a friend of the family that her and her boyfriend, they've been together for years, and they both have almost killed each other. Oh, literally. Geez. Police, hospitals, they've done that. They're still together. They can tolerate each other because they both crazy as hell.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
So if you see a man that's still dealing with a crazy woman, it's because something is wrong with him.
I agree.
There's no way a sane man is going to deal with a certain level of
So you don't think that the good sex can keep him there and just make him or her just stick it out and hopefully they'll change? Because we as women, we think that we hope that it'll change, you'll get better.
And that is the biggest misconception that any woman can ever have. Or any man. Because men think that too.
Now that I didn't know. But I think that we do that because, one, you haven't been taught as a young girl that you can't change a man, period. You can't change anybody.
Absolutely.
The only person that's going to be able to change you or whomever is yourself and himself, whatever.
Absolutely.
And so since you don't teach this stuff in your home and your upbringing, your daughters, your sons come up with this idea that I can change her and I can change him, or I can change him with sex. And you can't change, or you can't keep a man and you can't keep a woman with sex.
You can. You totally can. And the thing is, as far as with having sex, it's just like if they want to be with you, I believe that if a person wants to be with you, then they're going to be with you regardless of if there's sex involved or not. I just point blank, I just really believe, I believe just in this crazy mind of mine, just on looking up at the stars, that's possible.
It depends on, you know what?
Let me go ahead. I'm sorry.
If we're together and we've had sex and the sex is not great or not even good,
then I'm out the door.
And I want to communicate this with you and I'll let you know, and then the next time we get together and you still have not decided to even take a pointer of what I've talked to you about, then I'm going to leave. I can't hold on. You might be the best man in the world, but clearly you don't want to listen to anything that I'm telling you that I don't like this, I don't like that. Let's talk about what you like, and you're not telling me you just taking full charge or whatever the situation. No, I have to let you go because it's we're not communicating, and you don't want to accept anything that I'm saying. So it's okay. I'll let you go.
And that's where communication in relationships come in at, is because if you're disclosing this up front, then opposed to leading a person on and wasting their time, then I definitely do think that that's the right route to go. If you don't know when, like, I'll just be like, okay, well, I'm not interested in having sex right now. I don't know when I will be interested in having sex. That's just a personal choice. I don't know. So am I undateable? Am I not gonna find a relationship if that's the stance that I choose to take?
Really no. It's not. Okay. For one, the single thing, single thing can be fun, but it can also be the hardest thing.
Right. The
when-
lonely thing can. I think the lonely.
Yeah,
can
the
be
lonely
hard.
thing is if you're lonely you need to go see a therapist, because that means something.
And a prescription. You need a prescription
something
too.
that means that something is wrong with you, whether
Right.
whether you have insecurities or any other problems.
No, I think if you're lonely, you really have to take a step back and look at yourself and figure out what is it about me that is causing me to be lonely. Because a lot of us will get out of a relationship, not look back and see what did I do also. We'll try to put blame on that person did that, this person did that. But you did your part too in that relationship to push them away or cause them to act crazy or whatever. So you have to, when you're in your lonely state, step back, look at yourself and figure out what it is about me that I'm bringing in this relationship and that I don't want to bring into the next one. So that way you won't be lonely.
Well, I don't. I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't really think that's the reason why some people sit back and be lonely. I really do think that a lot of times individuals that are lonely, at least the people that I have met and have seen that are lonely, it all boiled down to some insecurities. Now, whether those insecurities were caused by another person, those can be in question.
Right.
But it's usually always because of insecurity. It's usually comes down to insecurity. Now, when it comes to just necessarily being single, the first thing that a single woman, in my opinion, they need to know, for one, what do you really want?
Right.
That's the first thing, because what you say and what you really want may not be the same thing. A lot of women say, "Oh my God, I want that. I want a man."
No, why you gotta sound like that?
And I want to make sure he got that. And oh my God, but he got to have a nice job, nice car. But in all actuality, they want the thug, the one they go to court with all the time. So you have to be real and honest with yourself on what you want. Once you figure out what you want, then the next thing you need to do is you need to be at the places where those type of people be
So,
at.
and
But it's always sheep, wolves in sheep clothing.
No.
Too.
Not all the time. No. See, that's because a lot of women don't know. Let me tell you like this. I'm gonna give you an example. I have a lot of female friends, and we have these conversations all the time, and I'm like their Dr. Phil. And basically what happens is, what I always tell them is, like, I'll give you an example. I was talking to one of my friends, and she was like, I want this type of man. I want a man that has a good job, that is in his career already, that owns, and, have all these things.
Right.
And okay, an established man. So I said, okay, what places do you hang out at? They going to the bars, hood places, clubs,
Because that's what they
stuff
know.
like that. Because that's what they know.
Right.
But that's not the type of caliber of man that you want.
there,
So
yeah.
I said, country clubs have bars. Right.
And that was going to be my next question.
You can hang out at country clubs. You and your girls can go hang out at clubs.
Some people are so afraid to get out of their usual norm.
That is true. Then that means this is not what you want.
Exactly.
Then
It is what they want, but it's the fear of, if I go there, what do I expect? Because I don't know. I've never been.
See, I don't even think it's the fear. I just think that it's people are afraid to step outside of their comfort zones as far as meeting people. That's what I think that it is.
I mean, but if that's the case, then you need to be on ChristianMingle.com or something. I don't know what to tell you.
Don't do the dating sites. I've been there.
No, but real talk. I'm just trying to be real. It's you as a woman, as a single woman, you have to put yourself out there.
And that's what I was going to ask. So, what are some ways for single people to definitely get out there?
You have to, for one, like I said,
quality single people.
Well, here goes the thing. You have to figure out. You have to really be honest with yourself and figure out what type of person do you want.
Right.
Once you figure out exactly what type of person do you want, whether if that is a higher caliber of person or is a lower caliber of person, then at that point you need to be at those type of places. I mean, if I'm looking for a very young professional type of woman, then I need to look up at where young professional women go to. But it's as simple as that. And I need to make sure that I make myself available to be at these places.
But just because they're this type outside, you don't know what they're inside.
You don't know what no one is.
So you can take your place, yourself to these country clubs, these nice, bars, these nice parties or whatever, and you still will
somebody
get
broke as
a
a
straight
joke.
bastard, on both sides.
Oh no, let's be clear. You can't really come to the country club unless you're a member.
Yes, you can.
Yes,
You can always get an invite.
No.
You can always know somebody to know somebody.
Yeah. But you have to qualify to be. Let me explain something to
But
you.
how do you know that you didn't meet that
No. Let
person?
me explain something to you. Golf ain't cheap.
But still,
No, it's
you
not.
still
My
can
son
be a
plays.
bastard. You can be the richest,
No.
handsomest, whatever, and be a bastard.
But the thing about it though is that we just talking about the first step. It's just
The first
necessarily
step,
the
okay.
first step is just getting to the places to meet these people.
Now, with social media, though, being on such a high rampage right now, I mean, do you think that that's a good place to start? Because it's like if you an attractive person, people are coming at you all day long, inboxes, all kinds
my
of stuff.
God.
Do you think that that's a good place to start? Because to me, that's similar to being on a dating site.
I mean, I'm
If
gonna
you
be
really look at it.
I'm gonna be honest with you. Dating sites, it could be a good thing or it could be a bad thing. It's really subjective to the person. Some people I know they've been on dating sites, and
have not.
matter of fact, I'll give you an example. Does anyone know The Chew?
Yeah.
You ever heard of that show? It comes on. I think ABC daytime.
Yeah, the cooking show.
The black lady that's on there, she
Yeah,
met her husband off of there, and they
He's a
still
lawyer. He's a
and they're
lawyer.
still married, and they living happily ever after. It can happen. It really just depends on your personality. If you're a very personal person, then no. Those websites won't work with
Right.
you. But if you're a person that is like, you know what, before I meet a person, I would like to have just converse with them to see if we're a match, then yes, those things are great for you. For me, those social media sites and everything, it's not good for me because it's not good for me. I'm the type of person I want to meet someone and I want to read them.
Right.
You know, but some people they say, "Hey, I can filter through what we talk to each other through
No,
social
that's
media."
I don't think
See,
so.
I've
So
done-
it really, I mean, I'm gonna be honest with you. I tell single people all the time, just try it. You just never know. At least try it.
Yeah.
At least you could say, "Hey,
You don't
I
like it or
have
whatever.
done this. It didn't work for me."
Right.
And that's nothing wrong with that. Because when you're single, like I said, there are no rules. You can literally do whatever you want, and you can find people whichever way you want
Right,
to
right.
do. And like I said, also go to events.
Yes.
Single people. There are
get out there. You have to be out there in the mix
and
if you
things that
looking
go
to
on
meet
in
somebody.
Chicago.
That's what we was talking about. There's so much that the city has to offer.
Yeah, I didn't realize like I work at I told you guys I work at Navy Pier in at McCormick Place. I didn't
have
know
some
all this
stalkers
stuff.
now.
I didn't know all this stuff was going on down
messed
there.
up
Yeah,
now.
it's a
Don't
lot.
worry, they
Yeah,
come
it's
down
a
there. They ain't gonna be able to
Have
find
you
me.
a bunch of little
That's
stalkers.
like, I seen you on
They ain't gonna be able. They ain't gonna be able to find me.
You was
Man,
so
it's
fun.
definitely a lot of stuff. And I'll say to singles, if you are ready to start dating, then you definitely have to step out there. And like Steve was saying, you definitely have to know what it is that you're looking for and what do you want? What are you willing to deal with? And that brings me to, before we get ready to wrap up, that brings me to my next question, settling. So being single. So at a certain point, people start making these crazy deadlines for themselves. And they're like, okay, well, if I'm not married by 30, I plan on being married by 30 and having 2 kids and a dog and a half a fish by 30. So 31 comes and you haven't met those goals, then people get to going haywire, especially women, because that time to have kids, it starts to
You'll be surprised.
narrow.
Men settle a lot too.
Yeah, and so I don't think that. Do you guys think that that's healthy though to settle?
No, it's not healthy, and that goes back to the person being lonely and
The
being
lonely thing.
insecure. It's
Not the insecurity, it's just the lonely. You're not insecure, but you're settling because you don't want to be out there by yourself anymore. And so you'll take what is given because you're tired of being by yourself. So now you will settle with whatever. Either if you don't have a job, or she doesn't have a job, or she is just not
I
personal
don't
with your
think
family.
I don't think too many men care about.
You'll be surprised. A lot of men care because a lot of men can't support you. A lot of homes nowadays takes 2 incomes to take care of that household.
I agree.
And if the female or neither the man knows how to budget properly, then she has to come up, on her end too, just like he has to. But I think, people will settle because we've all settled. We've all settled. And you get to a
Speak
point
for
when-
yourself. No,
Right, because
I'm just playing. I'm just messing
settled.
with you.
I
I'm just messing with you. No, I agree with you. A lot of people have. I think that people do settle, but I can honestly say that the times that I have settled in my life, it was due to insecurities and baggage that I've had.
See, I've tried
from
it.
previous relationships.
But it didn't work. I mean, it just, it didn't work. So I thought, okay, hey, let's get married, this and that. I knew already that, yeah, this, I shouldn't even say yes. But I did because you know what? Not so much as wasn't insecurities, but my thing was people in my ear. Oh, you should get married, have some more kids and this and that. And
Okay, I could
I'm
go with
like,
you on that.
well, I wasn't even thinking about that, but when you hear people keep saying it, it's just like you start to adapt that same way of thinking and say, oh, well, maybe I should get married or maybe I should have another kid when that really wasn't
what you were thinking.
your plan in the first place. But people tend to settle for those things just to shut other people up.
I mean, I don't know if that is necessarily considered settling. I think that's just a person.
It is if it's not the person that you want. What I want.
I mean, the thing about it though, you got to also remember something, that everyone has influence from somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of times, like a lot of women, they listen to their friends or they listen to their parents or their grandparents or whatever. Same thing with guys. We listen to our friends and uncles and stuff like that. So sometimes in that account, sometimes it works that way, sometimes it doesn't. Like, your someone may tell you, hey, man, don't marry that person. I'm telling you, don't do it. And you be like, no, I'm in love, I'm gonna do it. Then you find out that, hey, it didn't work.
But when you know that you want something in particular, let's say, okay, a woman meets a man. She wants to get married.
Mm-hmm.
She wants to have kids. Now, he's a good man. He's providing everything, all these physical things that she's asking, but there's a condition. He doesn't want to get married ever, and he doesn't want to have kids.
Why are y'all together?
Exactly. But
Because
now he's a good man.
But she's settling.
But then at that point, you settle it. And
Exactly.
what happens is that a lot of people, when they do settle, especially within a marriage, it never works.
Right.
You become very miserable. You become miserable, or that you make that person miserable, or you allow them to make you miserable because you're not getting what you want because they've already said. And then you set yourself up. If they've already told you, this is what I don't want.
But you know what? I think that's because a lot of people need to come up with deal breakers. They need to literally sit back.
I totally agree.
A lot of people need to come up with realistic deal breakers.
Yes,
They need to sit back and say what they can and cannot do.
Right.
What they can and cannot handle.
Handle, yes. And that's the thing. If you want to get married and have kids, there's no reason that I meet a young lady on the first date and she says, no, I don't ever want to get married and have kids.
You shouldn't
And then you still pursue it.
Right.
And then if you still pursue it, then that's
on
on
you.
you.
Absolutely.
That's your issue.
Yeah,
I totally
You
agree.
can't change her mind.
Yeah, I have a family member right now that's going through that. She didn't want kids, got married, and now he just out there like, man, he don't know what to do. But it's too late. You knew this going in, bro.
Hold on one moment.
So at that point, that's your problem. That's why you have to thoroughly date and get to know that person.
Well, here's the thing. I just want people to just
Call back.
to
I'm
wrap
sorry.
up. We're going to get ready to wrap this up, but what I want to leave off with is for the singles is understand that there's definitely a difference between being single and being lonely. And if you are single, own it. Be happy, be content.
Yeah.
If you want a relationship, put yourself out there to meet people and know what it is that you want. My motto is I would prefer to be single and happy than settle and be miserable. That's just Jay's opinion. That's just my motto, because I don't need to just get with somebody just to say I'm with somebody, because technically I'd still be single if I don't like who or what you are. So I want to thank you all for entering the Jaye Spot. We've been sitting here with E as well as Steve. I thank you so much for joining us on tonight, and for the caller that we were not able to get to. Sorry about that, honey. We love you. Please chime in with us next week as we enter the Jaye Spot. So again, thank you all so much. We are out. Peace.
Holla.